DC superheroes have a reputation for being dark and brooding and otherwise pretty serious, but in 2019, Shazam showed us that getting superpowers could also be a ton of fun, assuming you're in touch with your inner child. Here to share a few magic words about Shazam! Fury of the Gods, please welcome the stars Zachary Levi, Lucy Liu, Asher Angel, Jack Dylan Grazer, and director David F. Sandberg. Welcome in Shazam!
Woo, woo. Let's go.
So this is huge. I've been really looking forward to this one. Really exciting, obviously. We got a new trailer just out of Hall H. First movie was, I feel like, very hopeful, very fun. You know, it's about getting superpowers and also finding a family. And this time around, you're in therapy. You've got like the weight of the world and the fury of the gods.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, we're a couple years on, right? We pick up with the whole Shazamly a few years into their now understanding their powers, right? At the end of the first movie, all the kids get their powers. Now it's been a few years of them testing them out and figuring that out, and also figuring out what it means to be a teenager who's also a superhero. And being a teenager is hard enough. And all their relationships and how they all come together, that's kind of where we pick up the whole premise, yeah.
Nice. And Lucy, you're obviously a new addition. You have done your share of awesome movies. You've done lots of action. You've done tons of martial arts. But aside from directing an episode of Luke Cage, you kind of haven't really gotten fully into superhero stuff. And this is a big, huge, like blockbuster, you know, capital S, capital H superhero movie. I guess what's the experience like, and also what was it about this movie that really made you jump on board?
Well, first of all, I'm a super fan of Comic-Con and of comic books. So being a part of the DC world is just sensational for me. And, you know, they told me that Helen Mirren was going to be my sister. And I was like, I'm in. You know what I mean?
Question, yeah.
And these guys really are a Shazamily. So to be invited into that grouping, and even though we're coming in as a satellite, it's kind of exciting in every possible way.
Now you're playing kind of a villain here, yeah?
There's no such thing as a villain. I swear to God, there isn't.
You're trying to kill him, though, right?
No.
She's lying.
Who would want to kill this guy? I have to say that I think that people always like to have the protagonist and the antagonist, and I think everyone has a different take on what they want to do and where they're going. So my commitment to what I'm doing and what our sisters are doing together is not, in my mind, considered villainry.
Well, everyone's a hero in their own story. Right, I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Everyone's a hero in their own story.
Yeah.
Right. And in your story, you think you're doing the right thing.
I know I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah, but she's not.
I am.
She is not.
She's brainwashed.
Now, again, this is a movie that involves a lot of growing up, and Asher, Jack, you guys have grown a bit since the last one, and I realized that was a big issue for you, like making a movie. You know, 'cause you got to. This is still about kids turning into superheroes. What did you learn from the first movie that you've all been able to apply to the sequel?
Well, I mean, just with the aging, it was something we just had to lean into, that they are older now and that their time has passed. And that's a big part of the story as well. Like Billy Batson, it's like he's about to turn 18, and like what's going to happen with the foster home and the family, and will they be able to stick together? So it was just leaning into that part of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
This isn't your first rodeo anymore. Like, what's it like jumping back in here?
Okay, me. Yeah. I'm sorry. No, it's been incredible. Yeah, I love how in the first movie we set up the whole background of Billy and his history, and I love in the sequel that, you know, it's a new Billy. People really don't know what to expect, and he's obviously gone through a lot of trauma in his childhood, but now he's in a place where he's happy and he's healthy, but he's just trying to maintain his relationship with the family, with the Shazam fam, because you know everything from Billy is just all together, all in one, and I think he's just trying to enjoy being a superhero, and hopefully he's trying to stay away from the future, I'd say, and just be in the moment and have fun with his family and keep everyone in check.
Nice.
I would say.
Yeah, solid.
Jack, what about you?
I don't know. I think that Freddy and Billy are still very much in the throes of pubescence. And in this film, that we're in the latter years of high school, and there's the internal battle, the emotional battle, I'll say hormonal battle, with just, you know, the self. But then there's also that battle of trying to bury our secret identity, our secret superhero identity, which is hard, especially when you're a loser, like Freddy is, and you have nothing going for you besides the fact that you are a secret superhero, and it's hard to keep that under lock forever, you know? So there is that sort of internal conflict that goes on with Freddy throughout the movie. That's like the most exciting part in the movie for my character.
Well, we have the trailer queued up right now. I would love to sort of just have you all just shout at it, shout out your reactions, just completely ruin it for the viewers at home. Just talk over it. Let's hear what your sort of internal monologue is on this wonderful trailer.
Well, this is
Those are the production companies. And this CGI.
That's a city. That's a building
That's
about
Zach.
to smack me. Oh, here comes Jack.
There's Jack.
Oh,
That's my best
In
part.
pain.
I'm going to therapy. I think I'm going to therapy because I'm really confused.
There's Jason Momoa.
How I can bring the most as a
When
kid.
did
There
you
is Jason
shoot-
Momoa.
when did you shoot
That's
that?
I need a
Ben
drink
Affleck's
after.
crotch. This is me bouncing off.
I love this, dude.
Great.
So great.
And I'm on fire.
You catch on fire.
Fuego, on fire. What lit me on fire? Are we allowed to talk about that?
Friction.
I don't think so.
Yeah, well, they painted it out from the shot, so probably not.
Yeah, so something lit me on fire.
Here's Cooper and
Those are your
They're the
parents,
kids,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, those are all the kids. Those are the parents.
Hiding their secrets.
Cooper and Marta, who are lovely people.
Grace
Oh,
is her.
here's him talking about
I'm trying to find
What's going on with
how
you?
to be
Your
a,
inner
how to be a
peace.
good
There's
leader.
an
There's Annabelle.
Oh my God, Easter egg.
The little cameo.
Yeah, little Annabelle Easter egg.
Jaimin
This
is
is
back.
Jaimin being all
Jaimin.
wizardy.
Shout out Jaimin.
Love Jaimin.
Now here comes Lucy and
And she has a moment.
covering up them looks.
You guys are bad.
Those goddess
You're
looks.
We're
villains.
smiling, we're happy.
No, happy villains.
That's pretty very.
Things get intense. Here you go. Helen and I beat the crap out of each other for like 3 days.
Yeah, that was before shooting, too.
Well, we're method actors. I mean, we had to
Method
get
actors.
into the roles.
She needed that.
This was one of my favorite
a good
scenes I've
scene.
ever shot in my entire life because it was basically just a tete-a-tete, me and Helen Mirren for like 2.5 pages,
You're so
where I
lucky.
get to just be so silly, and she just sits across from me as this stoic, powerful
she's
goddess.
so good.
And it was so well written, and oh man, it was. And then we destroyed an entire baseball stadium.
And most
The
of
bill
in the
for that
budget.
was
It was in the budget.
Whoa! I think.
That's so funny.
Zach freaking out.
And it was very warm, I can tell you that. We were in Atlanta in the summer.
Asher cried that time. That was like his first tear ever.
Yeah, but it was not.
Was it not?
Her first flying.
Oh, was that Ian Ryan on a horse?
And that's more powers.
Yeah.
And then there's
That is cool. That's my roar of fury.
and then I
Zach
hit a
being
dragon in the
stoic.
face with a truck. Because my life is awesome.
You got a little burn there, buddy.
And that's Shazam.
Fury of the gods, to be exact.
That
That was
sums it
well
up.
narrated.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for that. That's literally all we wanted. Sometimes people just sit in perfect silence. And I'm like, well, I don't know if this is good TV.
Couldn't get us to shut up. Like, all talking on top of each other.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Now, there's a shot in there that kind of jumped out at me. I've often sort of compared the first movie to being like Big with Tom Hanks, but with superpowers. You've got Asher wearing a Goonies shirt, like front and center.
Yeah.
And Jack's wearing the you got the Lord of the Rings one.
Yeah.
Is that like? I feel like is there any DNA from those in there, or is that just a cool T-shirt collection?
No, definitely. I mean, Goonies was a big inspiration for sort of the tone and the vibe of the first one, and we're, continue that in this one. So there's a lot of references like that.
Yeah.
Nice. Now let's talk about Dame Helen Mirren, because clearly she's like,
She's a force.
yeah,
Damie.
yeah. What's
She's real Damie.
what's it like working with her?
Magical.
She really is somebody who brings some of the best energy. She's so honest and down to earth and just lovely. You know, just part of a group family. She kind of brings everyone in. And I mean, you do that so much. And she did that for Rachel and I. And just made it so special.
And she's really down to like just do her own stunts where it comes to, we put her on wires and all kinds of stuff. And sometimes it's almost like you don't actually have to do this. And we kind of have to talk her out of it. Yeah. But yeah, no,
She's so down. She's so grounded. She has every reason, I suppose, to not be any of those things. But she's exactly who you dream Helen Mirren is. And it's so rewarding because you're like, oh, I'm so glad that, all of my expectations of who you are as a human being.
She's a true
are
goddess.
Totally, yeah, totally.
She could be
Totally.
her own superhero.
Yeah. And she's
Absolutely.
mad talented, obviously, and just a sweet spirit and energy, and it was so cool. But so is Lucy. I seriously, I have to give credit where credit is due. You're so amazing and so talented and so grounded.
Zach.
And you absolutely are.
But we were
And
talking
as
about
is
Helen
we
and
got-
Rachel.
No, I
Yeah.
understand.
The
But
goddesses really got along.
But I think that you and Rachel both deserve so much love and so much praise. You guys were fantastic. and excellent human beings as well. So.
Oh, thanks, Zach.
I have to ask, you've got a Fast and Furious joke in there. You've got Helen Mirren. There's a movie that's coming out sort of between like now and Shazam that involves someone else from the Fast and Furious and what's it? I think it's also a DC movie.
It's this Ludacris movie you're talking about. No, right? Ludacris is playing a character in the DC universe, isn't it?
Is he?
No, yes, Black Adam is coming out in October. Yes.
You're making that nervous NDA breaking face. Where
I don't know what you're talking about. Do you see the sniper dots on my forehead?
There it is.
We're not allowed. There's nothing we can confirm nor deny. But I think it would be really cool if, there was a moment where Shazam and Black Adam got to have it out, fisticuffs. They're mortal enemies.
We could have lunch.
He's the yin to my yang.
Start with lunch and then see if the fisticuffs come into play after.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know if you've seen what that guy eats for lunch, but
Who would win, Zach?
That's gonna take
Lots of fish.
Lots of fish.
Lots of haddock, I think.
Unless
it
it's
is.
cheat day, and then it's
I think he likes
mountain of
quinoa
pancakes.
too.
And lots of quinoa. Quinoa and haddock.
Wonderful. Well, I'm dying to check this out. Shazam! Fury of the Gods is in theaters December 21st. But in the meantime, there is plenty more Comic-Con, including the stars of Dragon Ball Super and Star Trek Picard. But first, a quick break. IGN at Comic-Con will return after this.